Hello again. Well, if you're from downtown Melbourne or Victoria, you'll know how wet it is at the moment, and the temperatures are going from 28 down to, I think it's about 12 at the moment. It's pretty cold, lots of rain, not stopping, but rain can be a good thing as well because it does slow us down, getting to snuggle in at home, and maybe a little bit of contemplation and reflection time. So, it can have its benefits. Of course, the water's always beneficial. But I wanted to talk today about staying in rhythm, staying in your cycle. And it's a tough thing to do in a lot of ways because in this world, as I've spoken about many times, and as you know anyway, you've got realization for yourself, there's many distractions in this life. There's the social life, there's family life, there's business life, there's work life, and on it goes. And, there's getting dinner ready. There's a whole lot of scripts going on. So to stay in a rhythm is to really have that focus inward, to know where you're at. Now, this is not about, just spending copious amounts of time doing this, but it is probably great to have as a daily practice. 5 minutes a day in the morning. Some people just use gratitude to start their day, and that gets them into a rhythm, into a more high energy feeling, a warm-hearted feeling, where you're in your gratitude mode, where you're thankful for the good night's sleep, for the things to come for the day, for what you receive, what you have, your family, the love, blah, and it goes on. I shouldn't say blah, blah, blah. It sounds like I'm dismissing it, but it really is then staying in and creating some rhythm for yourself. But there's also the rhythm of the weather. So when it rains and it's dark and it's gloomy, we can also go into dark and gloomy, where we could use that dark and gloomy, inverted commas, for quiet time and contemplation, for reflection, for journaling, for checking in with your body, seeing how you're going, how you're feeling, what's going on for you in your emotions. Sometimes we wake up in the morning from our night's sleep and you can feel out of sorts. So having that time to sit back and reflect. We've also got the patterns of the planets, the moon and the sun, the daylight and the moonlight, which does affect our rhythm. And when we're not in these cycles and we're missing the truth of them, we can get very discombobulated, very disorientated about who we are and where we're at. And we can focus just on I'm going to call it the dregs of the world, the attachments. So how we look, how we present ourselves, how much money we've got, our success, our no success, our relationships. Instead of going inward and really going in to know that we're part of this creation. We are in rhythm with it, even when it's out of rhythm. We got to check in and make sure that we're not out of rhythm. We're not looking at the gloom and the doom of things, that we stay in our rhythm of gratitude, of love, of knowing that we are part of the Creator, that we are not separate from, so that we can feel that delight in our daily activities and not get caught up in the dramas of life, not get caught up in what's going on out in that crazy world at times. And definitely don't get caught up in the conspiracies, because they also feed this separation, the divide that's going on, divide and conquer. So we're really regrouping, staying in our energy, connection to Creator God, and staying in that frequency, let's call it, so that we know that our energies are always on. We are safe, we have our faith, that we trust, and that we are not separate from the Creator. We are part of that divine source that, it's bigger than light. Light's just to simplify it. That energy is to simplify it, because we really don't know what it is. We just know it exists, and that we're more than just this physical meat suit. So again, the narratives take us off our rhythm. The narratives of governments, of elections, of weather patterns, of spraying the skies or not spraying the skies, of the banking systems. All those things are interesting, but they can be misleading. They can get us angry. They can get us disconnected from the people that don't believe those things. And we're then out of rhythm. We're back exactly into the rhythm that is not of the Creator. It's a rhythm of this denseness, of this taking our feelings and using them for whatever it is used for. I'm not going into that. But my feeling that I always want to share is that you can be the best, highest version of yourself, not lowering your standards in your thoughts, your feelings, your spirituality, but heightening it. Always look for what is next. And when I say heighten, I'm not talking about success in money and things that you own. I mean in who you are, how close you are to God, the Creator God, and knowing that you are part of that source. We came from somewhere. We didn't just blip out of the sky. And so exploring that within yourself and knowing that you have a rhythm that you're getting into, that is your rhythm of your life, your purpose, your being, and not the rhythm of the outside world of what you should or shouldn't do, how much money you should or shouldn't have, who you should and shouldn't vote for, who you should believe in, what's going on, is the earth round or flat. It's fascinating, but get into your rhythm. Sit quietly with yourself, do some breath work. Clear whatever comes up. You know, when you do breath work or sit and contemplate, a lot of times it can get quite emotional. And let that come up and sit with that. Don't argue with it. Don't look at it. Don't get in the mind of it. Just let it be, so that you can start to see who you really are, what traumas or what beliefs you're still hanging on to, what arguments are going on in your head. It's so fascinating. Make yourself the most interesting story you've ever read and ever looked into. Have an awesome day. Enjoy this weather. Know that hopefully the farmers, the water tanks are filling and the gardens are getting watered. Bye for now.